Humans express themselves in many ways, a lot of times in the form of art. When we think of what art is, we most commonly think of the works of Leonardo da Vinci, Vincent van Gogh, Johannes Vermeer, and Michelangelo, all who created very thought-provoking pieces that redefine human potential. While people come from all around the world to pay homage to these works, they do so without recognizing that through their interactions with the people and environments around them, they too are in a way creating works of art. Individuals are the colors who are adding to the canvas of society, an art piece that is continually in progress. Existing in this art piece are elements from harsh ingredients of the paint that are magnified significantly today because of the pandemic. Things like unemployment, political violence, poverty, and ecological disasters, all of which will always exist, but depending on the skills of the painter, get overlooked despite being the things that we should care about the most. The imagination runs wild and can be very chaotic at times. The same goes for the history of humans when we look at the historical moments in time where we ask ourselves, what are we doing? Moments of chaos and anarchy. We have these moments because we're very complex, and because we're so complex, we tend to lose sight of what it truly takes to create a society we want to see. To create a society we want to see, it's not done by burning things down or being the loudest or taking another life. It's important we remind ourselves before we lose sight of our own obligations and personal responsibility of what makes our society what it is, and that is the rule of law. The principles of self-governing where we put ourselves in a position of influence for the good of society and make the rules that are fair and equitable. The theory behind the rule of law is to design a model to govern the decorum of the people within a society. Part of establishing that decorum is to create legal protections that ensure we as individuals and our personal effects are free from harm or destruction by other individuals. The legal protections of our society are the lines on our canvas that we have chosen to remain in. These same lines are what society collectively created through majority votes and legislation. At least in a Western society, the rule of law has progressed into an inclusive affair where the public, the people that are governed, have an opportunity to become involved in the decision-making of what is socially acceptable. This progression invited society to buy into an ideal that everyday people of all walks of life can someday be the leaders of other everyday people. Today, we continue to maintain this concept of a shared responsibility through government practice in the appointment of peace officers or similar titles at a local level, city mayors and councils, judges, magistrates, and jurors at all levels, and the election of congressional and senatorial positions for both state and federal level. Collectively, the bodies of these entities collaborate with the communities in which they serve to solve complex quality of life issues. To be effective, they all must make a commitment to enforcing laws in an equal and equitable manner. This is important to our societal canvas as we are essentially giving the colors that make up the painting the power to choose what is considered out of bounds or outside of the lines of the painting we intend to create. The system throughout history has not been perfect, but in the description of democracy has stood the test of time by its foundational principles of governing by the people with majority rule and with the ultimate authority from its people. We as a society decide what is fair and what is not. We decide what is acceptable and what is unreasonable. We are the colors on the canvas that govern the final appearance of what will be put on display for the world to see. This is our contribution to society. This is our social responsibility. When When we say the system isn't fair, the question we should be asking ourselves is, how are we contributing to it? Because it's easy to point the finger and find blame. It's harder to participate in a democratic process to improve it.